Okay, one of the large 4 private banks in India, Axis Bank, delivered its numbers yesterday, and despite how the stock price may be reacting, it was a decent set of numbers on various counts, right? So I'm going to walk you through the fine print. Profits were 1600 versus last quarter's 1100 and versus a loss of 112 crore last year. Now, why I like that the profit has gone up so much is because the provisions were highest this quarter. So you take your operating profit, you minus your provisions, and then you typically get PBT, you pay tax on that, then you get PAT, right? Q2FY21 saw the highest provision and the highest PAT. Okay, last quarter the provision was 4,400, we had a 1100 crore PAT. The year before we had a 3,500 crore provision and we had a loss. So that goes to show you that the operating profit and the overall profitability of Axis Bank has been highest in Q2 FY21, and that also becomes evident if you look at the PPP figure, which is 6,897 versus 5,952 last year. So these were the operation highlights on the profitability front. Now NII, which is your net interest income, which is your interest earned minus your interest expended, that also grew 20% YoY to 7,300 versus 6,100 YoY. So this is a very healthy number. Credit growth seems to be at least maintaining some kind of steady pace at Axis Bank, not like a lot of the other banks where it seems to have fallen off a cliff, or the PSU banks where now people are really doubting the ability to grow credit. In terms of the ability to grow credit, Axis Bank also has a very high capital adequacy ratio, right? 10,000 crores were raised last quarter, so that brought the capital adequacy to just under 19%, 18.92%. So that's a very healthy figure. It shows that any future credit growth ambitions which are there, capital is not going to be the constraint. Now coming to asset quality, which is also important, there's been an improvement. Gross NPAs are 4.18 versus 4.72. Net NPAs are 0.98 versus 1.23. Even Proforma numbers, if you take, gross NPA just comes to 4.28, which is still an improvement, and net NPA comes to 1.08, which is again still an improvement. Subsidiaries are also performing very well. Axis AMC's net profit for H1 FY21 is more than 3x YoY. Axis Securities PAT for H121 is more than 4x of the full last year's PAT. So subsidiaries are really doing well, and now they're going to start forming a higher summary of parts valuation for Axis Bank as they get independently valued. Deposits are doing well. CASA is doing well. There's no issue for this bank on the deposit franchise side. Obviously, it may not be as attractive as an HDFC or a Kotak, but it definitely is one of the beneficiaries of the deposit shift we're seeing. And like I said, the retail portion of this bank is doing really well. Particularly the retail fee income grew by 82%. Overall fee income grew by around 67%. Corporate loans and TLTRO investments are also growing well. SME loan book has managed to grow by 6% Q on Q. So fairly stable quarter from them. Good asset quality, decent credit growth in quite some tough times for the financial sector.